too. everybody to the MD Anderson presentation of MMF and the goal process. As you know, I'm MD Anderson, and I am an entrepreneur, a coach, author, and of course here I am as a presenter. But enough about me, so what about you? What brought you onto this video cast today or as a live audience today? So there could be a couple of reasons. One, I forced you to come, or I tried to give you some dire consequences. Or two, you were invited by a friend whom I forced to invite you, or you invited a friend because I forced you to invite a friend, or you just wanted to be cool because I'm cool, and by association, there you go. Then you may have heard a little bit about MMF, and it might be able to help you in your life, as well as the goal process, which is something that I personally teach to help the MMF experience in your life as well. But first off, let's get a little bit of the story of what MMF really is. Well, it started in a town called Quantico, where there are military bases just shortly after September 11th. They said, we do a very good job at arming our soldiers. We spend over $7,000 per soldier gearing them up to be able to go out and do their job. All of these different things. From the camera, you probably can't see all these little things, but there's like modular tacticular tests, helmets, ponchos, mats, sleeping gear, everything they need to be out in the field. And they said, we need something a little bit more than just this exterior gear. We need something that's going to help the soldiers. As we know, we've seen a lot of our great soldiers come back from battle, and they have had a lot of psychological issues, a lot of health issues, and that is something they also wanted to combat. So, MMF was created under several cooperative research and development agreements called CRADAS, C-R-A-D-A-S. And that's something that exists between the United States Department of Defense, the Marines, NASA, and a major leading scientific contractor. The results of this was over $15 million was spent from military funds to make MMF possible. And one proprietary ingredient is the blend of N-acetylcysteines, which protects and repairs double strands of DNA. Well, originally this was designed specifically for and only the military. However, it is now available outside of the military through the company Engage DNA. But first off, let's analyze this. What is in MMF itself? I know there's a lot of people out there who say, I don't need more pills. I already buy these supplements, I already buy these things. Or what makes MMF different, or what makes it better, or what makes theirs better. Of course, there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of hype out there. The reason it's important to know that this was formulated under the direction of military reasons is so that you understand there was no political agenda or financial gain agenda in creating the product. They look specifically for results, not profits. And that makes a huge deal when you are comparing that to other types of brands that are out there that are trying to make themselves more known. So, let's take a look at this quick video here of MMF. I hope you can see it through the video there. I took a little test myself because I saw an advertisement for MMF before I signed up, and it said you will feel it within minutes. And I thought, load of hype. Not true, couldn't be possible. But then when I did this test for myself, you will see that within 2 minutes of this vanilla shelled capsule, it dissolves and gets completely into your system. After that, I heard somebody else who owned a porta potty business. And so when they had to clean out the porta potties, they had to, unfortunately, see what was in there? And they said they would find all these non-dissolved vitamins. So people are taking all these vitamins and it's doing them absolutely no good. It's just taking money out of their pocket and a little time out of their day, and it is returning nothing to them because it isn't given the chance to absorb into their system. So for those of you who are watching this through Ustream, I hope you can see how this pill has generated, and it is starting to speed all the way up there. So this is within 2 minutes of dropping the MMF pill in a little petri dish. And you can see I've got my little cell phone counting it down, and it naturally wants to spread itself out. The neat thing with MMF is it is not a powder. If you were here, quite often we'll do a little presentation where we will put the powder or put the ingredients of the MMF in your hands. And you will notice it is a crystal or an isoform. We do crystals in there because they hold their structure better than what a powder would. A powder is susceptible to oxidative stress. So you can see that I just finished my 2-minute timer, how the whole petri dish is filled with the color of MMF. Being that it is all in the forms of crystals, it dissolves much better. And you can formulate it much easier so that it's got the proper amount of nutrition combined with each other so that it will enter your body in the proper form. Therefore, the body can utilize much better. And what does this do? Well, we have the top 10 worst processed foods on here. So, chicken nuggets. I don't know about you guys, but I love my chicken nuggets. My kids love the chicken nuggets, especially with ranch. But that's a horrible processed food. Hot dogs, yeah, I do have hot dogs in my fridge too. Fake cheese, actually, I prefer the real cheese on this one. However, Lunchables, I never found the value of Lunchables. They're so expensive. So I never want those. I'll buy Spam about 3 or 4 times a year just for something different, but it's still not good for you. However, I know a lot of us were so excited when Twinkies came back into business because, we just love our Twinkies. Soda pop, I personally am not a big soda pop drinker. However, I know a lot of people are. And that is one of the worst processed foods, artificial sweeteners, anything that's a diet version, that's really not great on your body. And well, French fries. I love my French fries. However, I'm more of a fan for tater tots. So that's not any better. I already know that. However, MMF helps reduce the effects of these highly processed foods. And we will see from this one about radiation. We are all exposed to radiation. If you have a cell phone, you would realize that the frequencies they run may not be as high as X-rays, but it is rated in a megahertz, which means it also has a radiation level. It's not going to be very strong. However, anything that's radio or has the frequency measured in megahertz, that is considered a form of radiation. We are exposed to that every day just by being around and having television stations, radio stations, not just that, but everything else that just goes on around us is radiation. Electricity actually is measured in megahertz as well. So there's radiation coming from that. And we can see the effects that radiation has on us. In high doses, I mean, this is extremes, so it can affect the eyes, cause cataracts. Definitely not what we want. We like to see what we're doing. It'll affect the thyroid, or your lungs, or your stomach, reproductive organs, skin, and bone marrow. Anytime any of those start to deteriorate on us, we start losing our health abilities. Our body is so busy combating all those elements that we don't get to go forward with our goals. So, a lot of this is caused due to oxidative stress. On my website, I go through all of these things. What is oxidative stress? How was it created? What are free radicals? As well as antioxidants. So MMF fights the antioxidants and it helps you to repair all these things. Again, radiation is an antioxidant creator. is a free radical creator because it is affecting the molecules. Again, the eyes, joints, the immune system. If you have a poor immune system, you are susceptible to so many sicknesses out there that it's really tough to pursue the happiness of life that you can truly enjoy with proper health. A lot of the other same things, when it attacks the brain, we see a lot of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, autisms. So a lot of people who have done testimonies about their experience with MMF have mentioned these particular diseases and how it has helped them out so much. I've always been healthy as a gymnastics coach, a gymnast, just an athlete all around. I love staying in shape. It makes me feel better about who I am. So a lot of things I personally never experienced. But what I did experience was better sleep. With better sleep, obviously I'm going to have more energy. With more energy, I can be more productive. More productive means I will get to be happier with who I am. And that's what was important to me, and that's why I share MMF. Many causes of oxidative stress. Well, some of us, I personally don't because it's not good for my lungs as an athlete. Smoking. However, I am susceptible to stress just as well as anybody else. Sunlight, pesticides. I know in my apartment community, they're spraying constantly to make sure that the residents here don't end up with, well, I mean, here in Arizona, scorpions, crickets, which bring scorpions, and all the other little things that aren't good for human conditions. Of course, pollution. Most of us have a car. When we drive, we create our own pollution. Airborne emissions. Right now, being that it is fall time, yeah, I've come across a lot of people with nose issues, and I'm one of them just as well. Typically, during this time of year, I end up with so much congestion in my nose, it gets down in my throat, and I have a hard time talking. This year on MMF, it has just been a runny nose. It's been annoying, however, it hasn't turned into I can't work because MMF has kept it better. Of course, x-rays, food and food additives, which we already talked about, and chlorinated water. Yeah, chlorine, it's not really good on you as well. Of course, and then medications. But what does this mean for you? None of this is relevant if I can give stories about everybody else in this world. Somebody else had a sore knee and this helped them out. Somebody else had ADD and it helped them out. But what does this do for you? And that's where I like to teach my goal process. So I will take a few minutes to go over those so you can learn what the goal process is and how to use it with MMF to make the best experience for you. So it is in my book, Dragonize Your Dragonize, which just goes along with my novel series. Of course, available on Kindle and paperback. So it's only a $7 book. One, you want to identify your wants. What is it that you like? What do you want? Not just all your needs, of course, needs are important, but this is about you. So what is it that you really want? If it's health, yes, do something about your health. If it's financial, do what you need to do for that as well. And two, write them down. What this does is it gives you ownership. You have something that's tangible to you, for you. It may be just a piece of paper or a thought or an idea, but it's something you created because of you. So you want to write them down so that you have a particular piece of ownership of something. Three, refine and prioritize. This is one of the more important ones. This is how we schedule our day and our time. We go through our list of priorities and we say, I've got time to do this right now. I'm going to work on this. But I have a roadblock here. What can I do next? So when you prioritize it, you're not wasting your time on something that's lesser important to you. Because at the end of the day, when you work on the lesser importance, you aren't as satisfied with yourself because you didn't progress yourself into what was important to you. Then step 4 is define your obstacles. If it's a goal, it will have obstacles. Otherwise, you would already have achieved it and it would be a success or an achievement at that point. So it is going to have something that is stopping you from getting to where you want to go. With MMF reasons, is it your health? Or is it money? For me, most of the goals I want, I just need to invest a little bit more money into it, but where do I get the money to put into it? So how do I make that wagon roll? So those are just some of the obstacles. Some of them are mental, some of them are physical, some of them are exterior circumstances. But if it's something that we can control for ourselves, that's going to help us put the priorities in the right order so that we are always working toward progression of our own self-esteem. Number 5 is find mentors. There are people out there who can or will help you or that you can learn from. So if you go through the DNA video in my playlist, I go over the people who discovered DNA, how it worked, the people who won Nobel Peace Prizes because of their studies of DNA. We can take their knowledge and move it a step forward. We can take that knowledge and apply it to our own lives. So the mentors can be alive or in the past, but it is something that you can gain from somebody else. And it doesn't have to be your most favorite person, because you may be competing against somebody as well, who can be just as much as a mentor to you instead of a detriment. So look for as many people as you can. If you start limiting your mentors, you have limited your ability to gain education and knowledge. Number 6, research, study, learn, and prepare. This is where you will probably be spending most of your time. I like to tell people, go to YouTube and type in epic fail. You'll come up with loads of videos of people doing stupid things. And I say stupid because most of the time you know better. And stupid is doing something against your knowledge of what is better. So it's a choice. But you're going to research, how can this be done? Who of my mentors have been able to do this? Or who of my who of my mentors have tried this but failed? You don't have to always look for success stories. You can look for attempt stories. And that is going to help you with your research. Why did it work for one? Why did it not work for another? Then it gets into the study mode. Once you get all that data, you need to say, why did it? Why didn't it? Then that will turn into learning. Okay, I liked what this guy did, or this guy, and I can combine things together, and I can learn how to apply that for my personal goal. After that, then of course we need to prepare. How many times have you ever gone to the store, went to buy $10 worth of groceries, and realized you didn't have your wallet? You went unprepared. You had researched, looked through your cabinets and said, I need some food. You went through recipes and said, I want this kind of food. So there was your study. So when you went to the store, you couldn't get what you wanted because you didn't properly prepare. So that's why step 6 is something that you will be spending most of your time on, and after step 6, returning to. Because when we get to step 7, well, now we finally get to move forward. We get to go out and do the things that we have wanted to. So many people start with step 1, they know what they want, but then they jump straight to step 7 and wonder why it didn't work. So steps 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are so important in the goal process because they will build your self-esteem as you know that you have done as much as you can with what you have, and that you are as ready as you possibly can be at that point, so that when you go out and work, you have a better chance of achieving what you went forward to do. Step 8, once you start working, you're going to see that perception and reality don't go hand in hand all the time. In fact, very rarely does it go hand in hand. So once you start moving with your work, you need to know that you are going the right way. And if you didn't do any research, study, learning, and preparing, you might not realize you are even off track. Or if you didn't get the mentors, you won't have someone to help guide you to stay on that track. So you always want to monitor your progression. Step 9 is document what you've learned. It's amazing how we go through experiences and we forget so many things that we've known. And the worst lesson to learn is the one you already know. Because then you're like, oh, I knew this, why did I do this? When you document the lessons, it definitely makes it easier for you to navigate through the world of obstacles so that you don't have to relearn the same lesson. And that's definitely going to help your progress as well. And as well, another side note, once you get going into future goals, you will be able to build on today's experiences because you've documented it. Not just that, but many people have a journal and a history of their grandparents. When we watch a lot of these movies, it's about the history of other people. And you are creating something for future generations, not just yourself. But I mentioned in the book, Dragon Eyes or Dragon Eyes, that sometimes you hit the obstacle that you feel like you can't overcome. And there's no better way to motivate yourself through it than through your own documentation. There's been so many times I've hit stumps in the road where I had to rely on my own experiences to get me through it. Step 10 is we finally achieve the goal and we get to celebrate the success. So, of course, there's not much to say. It's like, yeah, sometimes just achieving the goal is the success in its own. Sometimes just going out and having a little party with yourself, or playing a game or something, letting the mind relax because you've been out there working. So everybody has their own way to celebrate their success. Step 11, I think, is actually one of the greatest steps of the goal process because all of the first 10 steps, it's about internal validation, doing things for you because you are who you are. Now, step 11 is other people who have seen your achievement and they want to be like you. So, the best thing you can do is to help them. If they want to be like you, that is an external validation that you are the person you chose to be. And other people value you because of who you are. Not just that, but when people come to you for help, they are excited to become just like you. And as I say in the book, what better thing is to have a world of a whole bunch of yous who you love out there. So, if you're online, you can download the participation form. Take a moment to sign the attendance sheet if you are here, as well as fill out the next 7 day or the next. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought. So fill out the form about your participation, about your health status, what's been going on for you, whether it's your eyes, your lungs, your heart, whatever it is, what is the condition that you have, so that you can, in 7 days from now, see a difference. If you're going to take MMF for the next week, you might be able to see a difference because you're making a change. Anytime you create change, you create difference. For those of you who don't think MMF is for you, you might not see those changes if you're going to continue down the same path. I love Albert Einstein. His quote was, insanity is doing or expecting to get out of the mess by doing the same thing you did to get into it. So, next thing we'll know is engaged DNA is multi-level. And when most people hear multi-level, they think, ugh, disgusting. I know how that goes. So you notice I'm not talking so much about the multi-level business aspect of it. Because if it doesn't work for you, why would you use it? If it's not beneficial to your goals, there is no reason for you to use it. And as you know, multi-level, it starts with you. Usually you're upline, and then you're somewhere in here. And then you become this spot, and of course, the more people you get in there, the more money you make. And then engaged DNA, it is a 3 spots. So here would be you, or your sponsor, you, and then, of course, 3 underneath you. As far as compensation plan goes, I'm not here to teach that with these. If you are interested and you find that MMF is helping you in your life, you will naturally follow the goal process, and with step 11, become the mentor and want to help other people. If this is good for you and you've enjoyed the benefits of it, then sign up for the auto ship. That way you always have that MMF available for you. For $106, which includes the shipping, you get enough MMF for you and one other person for the month, plus an extra week's pack to share. So if it is helping you, then you might see somebody else who has a reason for help as well. So you can give that one away. If you want to focus this on a business, great. That's a whole completely different aspect of a presentation, which I'm not getting into today. Just a little bit more about Engage DNA is it started in pre-launch February 1st of this year. It is going to doing their grand launch November 1st. I remember that one because that's also my birthday. So you can say my birthday, which is on November 1st, when the company goes out. And their goal is to become a publicly traded company sometime in 2016. Right now is the best time to get into any business because it's got all that opportunity for growth. Excuse me, got sneezes. And so if you were invited to this webinar by a friend, please get back with them or just go to dragoneyes.org and follow through the video series. Thank you for attending, and I will see you later. Thanks.